Hit the lights! It's time for another episode of the Guitar Reliquary, and we're going to find out if this will kill them all or if it should ride the lightning. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to TGR. Today we're checking out the ESP LTD Kirk Hammett V in the beautiful black sparkle colorway. Yes, I did get this on the Guitar Center sale. So as many people know in the ESP LTD community, the regular price of these guitars is $17.99 US, and that's what every retailer is currently selling them for, except for Guitar Center, which has a mysterious sale that is charging only $899 for these. Now, I wasn't sure I was going to buy one, but when I saw it and saw the quality and the things that I really liked about it, I couldn't pass it up. So to start with, this guitar is made by the fine craftsmen in Korea at World Music Instruments. I do know that some of the ESP LTDs are made either in Korea or Indonesia, including the Metallica signature models. But this one is made in Korea. I'm not sure if others are made in Indonesia. I vastly prefer Korean-made guitars because I think they're amongst the best built guitars for the money. So what about this guitar attracted me to it? So first off, I'm not a huge Metallica fan. I do like some of their stuff. I'm not a huge Kirk Hammett fan, though I do appreciate his guitars, and I appreciate his choice in Les Pauls in particular, as I'm sure many of you do. But this has a Rhodes-style body, which I love. Got my trusty Rhodes on the wall behind me. It has beautiful ebony fretboard, and of course this black sparkle paint job, which just got me immediately when I saw it. So let's run through the features of the guitar and see if the beauty is really in the eye of the beholder. So this starts off with a three-piece maple neck through design. So the neck comes through the body. It has a volute, and then on either side of the three-piece maple neck are Corino wings, which is somewhat unique amongst the more budget-priced, and yes, I realize that it belongs in quotes, the more budget-priced guitars, with the exception of the 58 reissue Epiphone Corino Explorer and Flying V, and then also some of the Reverend models. And I believe also some of the Dunable DEs are also Corino. Dunable makes a phenomenal guitar. More on them in a future episode. But with this guitar, the Corino wings and the neck through are really great. It actually has a ton of sustain, consequently. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, beautiful ebony fretboard. The ebony fretboard on this was quite dirty. It had some sort of residue, show a picture of it, but it came right off with my trusty Ormsby The Best fretboard conditioner. This is my favorite stuff that I use. That's a bottle I've had actually since 2020, so it lasts quite long if you're looking for fretboard conditioner. Also smells very nice. So with regards to the layout of this, it's obviously 6 strings, but the strings are through body. I do sort of wish that it had the V design metal tailpiece that the strings sometimes come through on other Vs, but it looks great anyways with this setup. Then we have the black, the none more black, the blackened, if I may, Tone Pros locking tailpiece. Tune-o-matic. This is a great tailpiece. This is what I have on a number of other guitars in the room and that I've done reviews on the channel. I love the locking design. Haven't checked if it's radius to 12 inches or 14. Probably will at some point because I like the radius to match the fretboard. Of course, has EMG Kirk Hammett bone breaker pickups. The neck pickup is a bone breaker neck, and that has an Alnico 5 magnet in it. So you get a more, dare I say, tubey sound out of it. And then you've got the bridge pickup, which is a ceramic magnet, which allows you to get a really tight rhythmic metal tone, which I absolutely love. Controlled by a 3-position switch, up, neck, middle, both, down, bridge, standard layout, a master volume, and a master tone. And some folks might prefer other control schemes, but that's fine with me. I actually, my Hydras only have a volume knob, and so tone knobs on metal guitars for me are just superfluous, if I might say. The battery for the pickups is housed in the body. It is not a quick access battery hatch, which is the one downfall that I see thus far with this guitar. You have to have your screwdriver so you can replace the battery, but I'm sure that the battery will last for hundreds of hours as it does with, or as they do with other EMG pickups. The scale length of the guitar is 25.5 inches, which is pretty standard for ESP LTD Vs and also for Kirk Hammett. His guitars are almost all 25.5 inch. I think that he might have had some 24 3/4 double cut signature models, and then also, of course, Greenie is famously a Les Paul, which would have a similar scale length. The ebony fretboard has a 14-inch radius, which is why I said I haven't checked the radius for the bridge yet, but I will. And then it has 24 extra jumbo frets. Now, these are nickel silver frets, but they are some of the slipperiest nickel silver frets I've ever played on. ESP really outdid themselves with the fretwork on this guitar. It is perfectly level, no buzz, super low action, just amazing. Off the wall. I didn't pull it out of the box. Of course, it does have another downfall, in my opinion, which is the plastic molded nut. This nut had actually been backfilled with glue on the D string slot, and it had been done so very poorly. I don't know if that was a consequence of this coming from Guitar Center. Sorry, shots fired to Guitar Center and their ability to set up guitars in their own store, or if it was something that came from the factory. Either way, nothing that like a minute with sandpaper and some careful attention to detail cleaned up, and now the nut looks better than it did when I got it. When I changed the strings, I lubed the nut with my trusty Diodario friction remover in each slot, and it holds tune like pretty much no other guitar that I have. I'm shocked at how in tune this thing stays and plays despite all the abuse that I was giving it. But that might have something to do with the strings, which we'll talk about in a second. Two-way adjustable truss rod, accessible at the neck. Has the beautiful raised LTD logo. I don't know if that's metal or not, but I don't know if that's a very awesome pun there to be had, but I don't know if it's made of metal. It certainly looks metal, but I love the appearance of that. And then has the 6, obviously, locking LTD branded tuners. So the guitar balances incredibly well when I have it on the strap. It doesn't have any neck dive, which you might be concerned about with a Carina body and a maple 3-piece maple neck. Sounds great. Sustains for so long. I'm so shocked with how much sustain it has. And just how fun and easy it is to play. It's arguably as good or better than my George Lynch, which I famously just called my number 3 guitar after having just received that. So that's what you can expect with this Kirk Hammett V. It has beautiful white binding on the neck and headstock, obviously, as you can see, and then just black side dots. There's no glow in the dark or anything like that, which appears on some of the other ESP LTD line. And of course, the V jack is on the upper horn, which is similar to how a Jackson Rhodes operates. The only thing I've done so far to this is change the strings and put some shallow strap locks on it. Which brings me actually to my third complaint, which is that this strap button was not drilled appropriately. It was drilled at an angle. And so I am very glad that I did not burst through the top of the neck here with this strap button when I installed it with the screw. So that was one flaw, in addition to the residue on the fretboard, which was easily cleaned, and then the backfilling of the nut, which again could have been something that Guitar Center did and not something that ESP did. But all in all, the finish work is phenomenal. The sparkles look amazing, and it's really outdone itself, in my opinion, for what I thought it would be. So I did want to briefly talk about the strings that I chose to put on this. So I have a big desire, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I love to try new things, new gear. That's like so fun to just get something new, even if it's tiny, like a new guitar knob, a new pick, whatever. I just love trying new stuff. So, you know, a year and a half ago or so, the Von Frankenstein Monster Gear was introduced, and it's Doyle from the Misfits gear company. And he has an amazing group of signature artists that are getting their strings through him now. And one of them is Jeff Loomis. And I've been a Jeff Loomis fan since Dreaming Neon Black with Nevermore back in 1998 or something, 2000. Beyond Within is the song that got me into Nevermore, and I've actually seen Nevermore a few times live, and they're a phenomenal band. It's too bad that Worrell passed, because they could have been making excellent music still. But regarding the strings, these are the Jeff Loomis Sentient 6 strings. So they're a 9 to 46 gauge set. They're nickel plated. They're individually wrapped, and I've got some pictures of the wrapping and whatnot. And the strings are made and distributed by Sheptone. I've literally never heard of Sheptone before, which is probably an embarrassing thing to admit on YouTube. But these strings are amazing. I am shocked at how much I like these strings. I usually gravitate towards the Ernie Ball Paradigms or the Diodario XS or something that has a lot of longevity. But the feel of these Jeff Loomis strings is incredible. Like, I don't think they're a coated string. It doesn't say anywhere that they're coated, just says they're nickel plated. But what phenomenal strings. Now, the one downside to these strings is that they're $18 a pack. But if you download the Shop app on your phone, sometimes they go on sale. And so I actually got 3 sets of these for $12 a piece so that I could try them, because $12 is in line with what I pay for other brands of guitar strings, and I really wanted to give them a shot. I'll probably pick up some of the Gary Holt ones when those go on sale as well. But really big fan of these strings right out of the gate, and it might be what's contributing to how in tune this guitar is playing. I do need to try them out on a guitar with a tremolo to see if they hold up quite as well, but they're really phenomenal on this guitar. All right, so now that I've gone through a battery of information on this guitar, I think it's time for us to get to the demo. All right, I hope you enjoyed the demo. I had a lot of fun playing the background track and also the leads on this guitar. It was so tight sounding. One thing that I did notice about the sound that was not really to my taste was how compressed the pickups sounded on the lead track. They sounded phenomenal for rhythm, but for the lead, there was something about the character that just wasn't there for me. And that makes sense because I usually play through passive pickups. So, you know, I'll keep these in here because they're a different sound, they're a different tool in the toolbox, but definitely they are not the master of puppets for me, if you will. Anyways, hope you've enjoyed the video. Please take a second to like, subscribe, check out my other videos, and I hope you have a phenomenal metal day.